Science and things to do with our hands. But this department deals with the thinking brain. And I think that it is important that the universities do not forsake the arts so that we can be able to get a group of people who will actually be able to map out the future of our country because of their thoughts. You're welcome, and I hope you find that this house is actually quite useful, but don't decide to descend to this floor because it can be murkier. Think for us as a country and show us the direction.
Is it on the same issue? I also an alumni of the university.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I know majority of us are alumni of the University of Nairobi, the only university with a "the." But also as an ongoing student for the second time in the Faculty of Law, let me welcome my fellow students to Parliament and wish them all the best. And also just to encourage them, because the particular course they are undertaking is very important for the work in terms of the political space. So I welcome them very much and tell them that do not be deterred, keep the courage going on, because education is the one thing that nobody will ever take away from you. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Kaya, you also went to the University of Nairobi.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, fortunately, I didn't go to the university. I went to the best university. And Honorable Speaker, I just want to say this about the supposedly University of Nairobi. That
Order, Owen Baya. You must withdraw that remark.
I withdraw respectfully.
It is not supposed. It is the university.
Okay. But I want to say this, Honorable Speaker, we have seen trends that the people who have been at the University of Nairobi have been busy destroying the same university. This is one of the iconic symbols of not only Kenya, but also East Africa, as one of those universities that are respected. But we have seen people have been given responsibility to run that university, and instead of running it, they have been running it down. And I want to request anybody given an opportunity, chairpersons, chancellors, vice chancellors that have been given an opportunity to run universities to actually do exactly that. Otherwise, we will waste a whole generation just because of one person's personal interest in a university. So the councils that are running universities and the board of management that run university, Honorable Speaker, need to be selfless and think about the institutions that they are running, not about themselves. We saw the case of the Council of University trying to destroy a very important institution in not just East Africa, but Africa, the University of Nairobi. So I want to urge those that will come after these other guys have left office to actually go there and manage. When the University of Nairobi goes down, Kenya goes down with it. The academia in this country goes down with it. And therefore, it is something that all of us, even those of us who went to some of the best universities in this country, which is actually not the University of Nairobi, need to actually support. That University of Nairobi must stay afloat. It must be properly managed so that we still retain the reference that the world has for Kenya through University of Nairobi. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, if we were to give everyone who went to the University of Nairobi an opportunity, most of the people in this house would stand. And just by a show of hands, those who went to the university, thank you very much. Yes, I want to tell the Honorable Owen Baya that you cannot say you went to the best university when you can't even pronounce its name. You appear to be ashamed of the very university you went to. We are sorry for you. But Mr. Speaker, on a serious note, I wanted to say that we welcome the students of the university and the staff. But it is a serious point that the University of Nairobi appears to be going down. It could well be on account of management. It could well be on account of political interference. It could well be on any other account. Mr. Speaker, I think this is a point that the Education Committee needs to take up, because it is a very bad sign when the University of Nairobi keeps having scandals and issues on the newspapers all the time. It will cause
us to, remove the prefix there before the university, and we cannot afford to do that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I think everybody here has something to say. Let me close with Carolo Mondi. Did you also go to the university?
I was trying to remember my admission number. Right, Honorable Speaker. I attended the University of Nairobi Faculty of Law. Honorable Speaker, I also joined my colleagues in welcoming the students of the University of Nairobi. And also want to acknowledge that on 26th May 2025, GPR 3104, Social Foundations of Law and Development, this is an examination done this week. They actually based by yours truly, Karoli Omondi, which is proposing that at points of payments for sale of goods and services, cash option be made mandatory. And the question was, having read the bill, they said, discuss the functions of law reform in light of the above passage. Drawing illustrations from the passage, discuss the relationship between law reform and social change, 20 marks. But apart from that, Honorable Speaker, let me also say something and urge my colleagues here, the power of alumni. I think we need to come out as alumni of University of Nairobi and defend it, because there is political interference in the management of the University of Nairobi. It is not that those who are there are not able to run the university, but there is a bigger, more fundamental issue. And if you look at the history of this country, when the alumni of the University of Nairobi and Makerere and Dar es Salaam were the principal public servants, the standards were very high in public service and everywhere.
That is documented in studies. Today, there is a problem. There is a problem. I don't want to go further than that,
That's
but Honorable
enough.
Speaker, thanks for that.
All of you who are members of the University of Nairobi alumni,
if you start a movement, yours truly here will be part of it to revive our university. Oh, Wangari, you also went there?
Yes, and it's important.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to confirm that even women, myself, Honorable Mayaka, went to the University of Nairobi. And our Deputy Speaker was a teacher there. But more importantly, Mr. Speaker, the University of Nairobi stood out not as just an academic giant, but also as a serious incubator of leaders. Myself, I was the Vice Chair of SONU in 2006 in the university, Mr. Speaker, and we have seen the metamorphosis, what has happened to the leadership, to the administration, and I agree that with Honorable Karoli, we are very many here. Maybe we should start a serious caucus of the university, because to read what is going on in that university is heartbreaking, and we hope that even these students, they can revive their students' union exactly to make sure that they also push for what should happen in the university, so that it does not happen as it is like the leadership is in bed with the administration. That separation, Mr. Speaker, was very important. So I hope that we can pick it up, as you say, but and redeem the face of the University of Nairobi. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, members. Allow me to acknowledge, apart from those the University of Nairobi students and teachers, in the Speaker's Gallery, there's Mudhembwa Secondary School from Masinga, Machakos. Students, when you are mentioned, you stand so that the House can acknowledge you. Kiunis, in the public gallery, we have Kiunis Schools at the river from Mavoko, Machakos. Kenegut Day Secondary School from Ainamo, Kericho. NAM Schools from Roysambu, Nairobi. Eselengei Supat Girls from Kajiado, East Kajiado. And Kihoya Primary School from Kangema, Murang'a. I've been asked by the member for Kangema to welcome his school. In doing so, you can welcome all the others so that we go to other business.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I start to welcome the schools that have joined us in this parliament today. One thing I want to encourage them that this is a house that makes law for this country, and I want to assure them the best brain that we develop from their school, they can be able also to be part of this house. For Kehoya, I want to encourage them to continue doing better. That's the home for the business gurus in Nairobi. They do better in business, but also they can be able to perform even better in politics and also the economy of this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Engineer Kiragu, 1 minute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I take also this opportunity to welcome students from Garariga Secondary School, Limuru, and Limuru Girls to Parliament.
Thank you, Speaker, for setting aside the time for us to urge Professor Ngogi Wadiongo. This is a professor who knew these two schools very well, and he contributed a lot for them. Mine is to request the students to work hard, that there is space in this country for them to grow their careers and for them to be recognized by this society. Thank you.
Yes, the member wanted to recognize students from Kajiado. Go ahead.
Young students from Mashuru. In Kajiado East constituency, Selenge Supat. I'd like to welcome them and let them know that they are leaders for tomorrow. I'd like to encourage, this is a gold school. Then in our society, I am extremely very happy to see that many parents in Maasai communities are now sending girls to school. And this is a special school that I like to acknowledge it and welcome them and aspire them to do more, do better. Let the sky be the limit, because tomorrow they can be here too. One of them could be a member of parliament for Kajiado East constituency, and I like to encourage them to work hard and strive to do better and realize their dreams. Kwa hivyo karibuni sana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The last. And in future, when I ask one of you to welcome students on your behalf, you should obey that order.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to welcome students from Kenekut Secondary School. As the county MP, I'm very happy and proud of them. And Honorable Speaker, I'm also happy to report that this is a school that is doing well. Students are disciplined, teachers are doing great. And as Honorable Speaker, I had one of the students I sponsored as a teen mother, and she's joining university. She scored a C+, and she has 2 children out of marriage, and she decided to go back to school because of the program that I call it Usawa kwa Wote. So I'm very proud of the school, and I'm proud of the girl child, and I pray
Well
that all
done.
students do well. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Well done. I hope you didn't break the marriage. Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, May 29th, 2025. A, reports of the Auditor General and financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2023, and the certificates therein in respect of 1, also Olesos Training Institute, Kipsinende Training Institute, Rift Valley Training Institute, Tana River Technical and Vocational College, Bungoma North Technical and Vocational College, Bumbe Technical Training Institute, Lugari Diploma Teachers Training College, St. Augustine Teachers Training College, Eregi, St. Paul's Kibabi Diploma Teachers Training College. And B, Honorable Speaker, reports of the Auditor General and financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2023 and 30th June 2024, and certificates therein in respect of the Masai Mara Technical and Vocational College, Naivasha Technical and Vocational College, Siala Technical Training Institute, MSOS Technical and Vocational College, Kabusi Technical and Vocational College, Sikri Technical and Vocational College, Tigania East Technical and Vocational College, and lastly, Honorable Speaker, Tharaka Technical and Vocational College. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay.
Chair, Departmental Committee on Social Protection, Alice.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the floor of the House today, Thursday, 29th May 2025. Report of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection on its consideration of 1, the Kenya Sign Language Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024, and 2, the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair, Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs, Murugara.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 29th May 2025. Reports of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs on its consideration of the following. Number 1, the President's Memorandum on the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023. Number 2, the President's Memorandum to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws, Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025. Number 3, the Elections Offences Amendment Bill number 2, Senate Bill number 28 of 2024. And number 4, the Political Parties Amendment number 2, Senate Bill number 26 of 2024. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Next order. Yes, Honorable Junet.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to bring to your attention that before we went for the recess, you had given an indication that when we come back, there was this issue of the Supreme Court judgment on the operations of Parliament, on the bicameral Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to indulge
you. Are very right.
Yeah, when do you think you can? Because you remember there is also a bill, the County Assembly's pension bill, yes, that originated from the Senate, and it was a money bill.
Yes.
And you stepped it down so that you can deal with that matter accordingly.
You are very right. Yes. The communication is ready.
Yes.
I'll deliver it either on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on the load of work.
Yes.
Yes.
Then lastly, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to bring to the attention of the members on what the Chair of Justice and Legal Affairs has just tabled. The bills which have the memorandum of the President, the bill on money laundering, anti-money laundering, and the bill on conflict of interest. I want to ask members to take those.
I have a communication on it.
Thank you,
better
Mr.
hold
Speaker.
your horses.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Sharia.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion. That aware that Article 95(2) of the Constitution provides that the National Assembly deliberates on and resolves issues of concern to the people. Further aware that the Higher Education Loans Board is mandated to provide financial support to Kenyans pursuing higher education through loans, bursaries, and scholarship. Noting that students enrolled at the Kenya Medical Training College, currently totaling approximately 70,000 students, with 30,000 of these having joined the institution in 2024, concerned that 40% of KMTC student population require financial support similar to that offered to students in other public tertiary institutions such as technical training institutes in the country, but are excluded from receiving HELB support. Appreciating that education funding plays a vital role in enhancing access to education for Kenyans, hence boosting the economic growth of the country. This House therefore resolves that 1. The government, through the Ministry of Education, facilitate the issuance of HELB loans to students at the Kenya Medical Training College, and 2. If no funds are appropriated for this exercise, approval is hereby granted for the National Treasury to release funds amounting to not less than Kenya shillings 1.5 billion to the Higher Education Loans Board, pursuant to Article 223 of the Constitution, for loans to KMTC students, and that such release be regularized through the third supplementary estimates 3 for the financial year 24-25. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Sharia. Yes, Janet.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to bring to your attention a matter that's also very, very important to this House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's about how this Parliament operates. Mr. Speaker, there's a ruling that has happened today in relation to matter that is pending before the Justice and Legal Affairs Departmental Committee. Mr. Speaker, the tradition, the precedents, this is a house of procedure, traditions, and precedents. And this is something that has been pronounced upon by previous speakers. That, Mr. Speaker, a matter that is seized of by the House, especially when a matter has been committed to a committee of the House by the Speaker, because the committee of the House is a sitting of this plenary. Mr. Speaker, the courts have to wait until Parliament concludes the matter, and then after that, anybody who wants to go to court can go to court and litigate the matter there. But Mr. Speaker, you cannot inject the House from doing their work. You cannot inject Parliament from doing their constitutional mandate, Mr. Speaker, under Article 95 and 96. Because even us, we cannot legislate on a matter that is before a court of law. We have to wait until the court concludes it is the matter in one way or the other. Then from there is when we can legislate. Even a petition, the Deputy Speaker is saying. So, Mr. Speaker, there is something that happened a week ago. And I think in your own wisdom, you are lenient a bit because I think you wanted some decorum as a head of one arm of government. But Mr. Speaker, the Parliament will not take it anymore, going forward, lying down. Because if a bill is presented in Parliament and the bill goes through the first reading on the floor of the House and committed to a committee, anybody who has a problem with that bill must wait for the bill to go through the second reading, third reading, it goes for assent. Then after that, go to the court and declare it unconstitutional, the whole of it, section of it, clause, any clause that you're not happy with, if the court agrees with you. But if you want to inject Parliament before they do their work, then that means Parliament will not be able to operate in this country. So I'm happy that the judge has lifted the injunction today, but going forward, I'm giving judicial notice as a leader of this House that this House will not stop doing their work. In fact, if the ruling does not come out today, we were planning to sit tomorrow so that we can vet and finish our business. Then you can go to court and do whatever you want to do. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Hold on. I don't want to open debate on this. What the minority leader is saying falls in sync with what the Honorable Tenda Mola raised yesterday on the same matter. There is a ruling or a communication in the offing on the same matter so that we give a precedent setting direction on the matter. But for avoidance of doubt, nobody, and I repeat, nobody, has the power under any law or under our constitution to injunct Parliament from doing its work. Parliament is a constitutional body enjoined with authority to discharge constitutional functions. And once a matter is before Parliament and it is under consideration, whether it's in committee or in the plenary, the committees mirror the plenary. And the proceedings in committees are akin to proceedings in plenary. In future, and I think I have, for the information of the House, I have asked the Chief Justice to have some colloquium with some members of this House, including yours truly, so that we do not continue talking at each other as arms of government. We need each other, but we discourage and we frown at any overreach by government on the other arm, especially that are legally clear, constitutionally clear, and morally untenable. So I direct the committee on JLAC to proceed without haste and vet the nominees for chairman and members of IEBC and bring the report to this House. Any aggrieved party, whether it's in the judiciary, in the executive, or general public, can then go to court and challenge something that we as Parliament will be funked as official. And let it be as clear as that. But there will be a precedent-setting communication next week on this matter that will guide us going to the future. Thank you. Honorable members, I want us to reorganize the order paper as follows. We'll skip order number 7 for now. We'll skip order number 8 for now. We'll go to order number 9, and the reasons majority, minority leaders, and members of House business, you are aware. So I'll give you communication and direction on how to proceed with order number 9. Then thereafter you go to committee. And after committee, then we come back to statements and go to conclude order number 8 and carry on with the rest of the order. So call out order number 9.
Order number 9, Committee of the Whole House.
Before we go to the committee, honorable members, take your seats. Dan Wanyama, take your seat. Honorable members, I have a communication on the consideration of the President's reservation on the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023 and the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill 2025. Honorable members, you recall that on Wednesday, 30th April 2025, I reported to this House a message from His Excellency the President notifying that in exercise of the powers conferred under Article 115(1)(b) of the Constitution, the President had referred the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023, and the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, back to Parliament for reconsideration. I did refer the memorandum containing the President's reservations to the two bills of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs for consideration. I also advise that the consideration of the President's reservations to the bills by the committee and indeed the whole House shall, insofar as necessary, be guided by the Speaker's communication of 28th July 2015 on the consideration and scope of the President's memorandum. Honorable members, the committee has since laid on the table of this House its report on the consideration of the President's memorandum to the two bills. With respect to the Anti-Money Laundering and the Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill 2025, the committee has recommended that the House concurs with the President's reservations to the bill, albeit with amendments. Article 115 of the Constitution empowers the House to propose amendments to the President's reservations, either fully accommodating them or not fully accommodating the reservations. Where proposed amendments fully accommodate the President's reservations, the amendments only require to be supported by a simple majority of the members of the National Assembly present and voting. Conversely, where such amendments do not fully accommodate the President's reservations, the amendments require to be supported by a 2/3 majority of members of the National Assembly to be carried. I have determined that the amendments proposed by the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs to the President's reservations to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill 2025 do not fully accommodate the President's reservations. In this case, the threshold must be realized for the amendment to be carried. Otherwise, the House will be deemed to have concurred with the President's reservations to the bill. In other words, if it's called to the vote, whoever wants to carry the amendment must garner a supermajority for the amendment to be carried. 2/3 of the House, not present and voting. 2/3 of the whole House, regardless of who is here, including Honorable Kuimburi, must be counted. Honorable members, regarding the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023, I am informed that the committee recommends that the House does not concur with the President's reservations to the bill. Conversely, for the House to uphold the recommendation of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs that the House does not concur with the President's reservations to the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023, the House shall be required to muster the support of at least 233 members. This is in keeping with the provisions of Article 115(4) of the Constitution, which requires that such a proposal be supported by at least 2/3 of the members of the National Assembly. If this threshold is not achieved, the House will be deemed to have concurred with the President's reservations to the bill. So, Honorable Murugara, if you want your proposals to be carried, you must, in respect to the President's reservations to the two bills, has been published in the order paper for this sitting. I thank you. So as we go to committee, where the direction is on supermajority, Deputy Speaker, as you chair the committee or whoever is chairing the committee, when you go to the vote, you go straight to a division because you need a supermajority. It is not a yes or a nay vote. Will you now be upstanding? Order, members, hold on, Sergeant. What is it, Wamboka? Sergeant, retreat. Take your seats, members. What, on the same issue?
I'll just seek your guidance.
Yes.
It looks like it's an ambush on us.
It is not.
Because what if we reorganize ourselves and put this matter to next week so that we organize ourselves with regard to numbers, especially on the conflict of interest thing? Because that, Honorable Speaker, affects us. So, because you are part of this, you are MP number 1, I would beseech you that we were not prepared for this. You stepped down this, and I'm telling you we will hit 100%. next week.
Order, Wamboka. As members of this house.
Standing order number 30.
Order, as members of this house, you must be like the good soldier Sheikh from Poland, who was 24 hours ready for combat, anytime, anywhere.
And that's what you should be. This is not an ambush, because I told you that this matter was already ruled on by previous speakers in 2015. So it's not something new. So I encourage you to go into committee, and you'll be upstanding now.
Honorable members, we may be seated.
Somebody will go to court, don't worry. Somebody will go to court. But somebody is no, all of this no corrupt. Itamaliza wabunge. Hii kitu itatumaliza.
Honorable members, I now call the House to order, as we can begin. Clerk, you may call out.
President's reservation to clause 2.
Honorable members, we are dealing with the just hold on. Honorable members, we are dealing with the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2025. And we are considering the President's reservations.
President's recommendation to clause 2.
No, you said clause 2, it's clause 3. It's clause 2? Oh. I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 2 be considered. Mover? Majority Leader?
Thank you, Chair. I beg to move that the President's reservation in clause 2, as it is in the reservation memorandum and on the order paper, be adopted as it is. And Honorable Speaker, just to ease members' concerns, Clause 2 included the definition of family and a relative. And initially the bill was very wide. If the
Let him
Honorable
complete. He hasn't
Wamboka
completed moving. What
at
are you
least
going to have a
listen to
point
me.
of order about? Let him complete moving. Proceed.
I was explaining to Honorable Wamboka that initially the bill had a very broad definition of family and relative. And in the President's definition, that has been restricted family to mean your spouse, dependent child, a parent, or spouse of a public officer. And relative has been restricted to mean a person who is related to a public officer by birth, marriage, adoption, or affinity. Before that, it went all the way to your great aunt, great uncle, first cousin, nephew, niece, husband, wife, grandfather, grandmother, grandson, granddaughter, father.
Those of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. No, you should say the nays. Let's get to, we have not even begun. Okay, I declare that the ayes have it.
President's recommendation to clause 5.
Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, honestly, you're being unfair.
I propose the question that the President's recommendation to clause 5 be considered.
Point of order, Madam Chair. Point of order, Madam Chair. It is within my right to make a point of order. Procedurally, not.
Honorable Speaker, maybe just for Honorable Wamboka to understand that when you want to raise a point, of order, we have very good gadgets here that you put your card, request the Speaker, and do that, not shouting from your seat. It becomes very dishonorable when we go that way. Honorable Speaker, clause 5, I beg to move that we adopt clause 5 as it is on the order paper. Again, this relates to the administration of this act. And it's important for Honorable Wamboka to listen. Because what I am saying is very important to you. It affects you and affects me and affects even judicial officers. Because this clause said the act was to be administered by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and the National Assembly and Senate had, in the mediated version, had adopted a version that would have this act being administered by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission and by reporting authorities. Reporting authorities in this case would have been for you and for me, the Parliamentary Service Commission. And for judicial officers, it means that judicial officers would have reported to their reporting authority, which would have been the Judicial Service Commission. And that is the practice as it has been. But now the Act proposes, and the President's memorandum proposes, that now the entire Act shall only be administered by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Therefore, our judicial officers now have to submit their declaration of wealth to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. And the same with you. This is to enhance transparency and accountability and help in the fight against corruption, Honorable Speaker. And it is very important, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, judicial officers must now take note. All judicial officers, from magistrates to officers working in the judiciary, all the way up to the Chief Justice, they now report to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission on matters relating to conflict of interest. That is very important, Honorable Speaker, and I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 5 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Yes, Honorable Jeanette.
Madam Speaker, I wish to reiterate what the majority leader said, that members need to take note that both members of parliament or the legislative arm of the country and the judiciary will be reporting to Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Madam Speaker, this is a very serious policy change. This thing is going to put many people in jail, the way I see it. Because the corrupt. Because, why do I say so? Madam Speaker, there is no due process, the way I see. Because before you report to Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, you should report first to the bodies, the constitutional bodies that manage those institutions. That's why GSC is in place. That is why Parliamentary Service Commission is in place. So, Madam Speaker, this memorandum is trying to propose that the constitutional powers of those organs created by the Constitution itself are usurped now by Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Another commission, just like Judiciary Service Commission and just like Public Service Commission. Me, I am passing this bill here. But this one, I am telling the judiciary, they are under attack. They must suspend this one once it is entered to Paramoja.
Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 6 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 6.
The next majority leader. Go to clause number 8.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 6 be amended for as is on the order paper. Again, Honorable Speaker, this relates to just functions of the Commission, and in this reference, again, is the EACC Commission. And I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 6, that the President's recommendations as, no, Honorable members, let me repeat that. I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 6 be considered. Mover? Leader, majority leader, yes? Oh, he's moved it. Okay. All right. There is no debate? Okay. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 6 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 6 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 8.
Honorable members, I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 8 be considered. Mover?
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 8 be amended as it is on the order paper and as per the President's reservations. And Honorable Speaker, this relates to instances where a public officer may be construed or may be seen to be in conflict of interest. And in the mediated version, we had removed part C, which says that the public officer has a public officer will be in conflict of interest if that public officer has private interest that could conflict with the duties of the public officer in future. And Honorable Speaker, the President has reinstated that particular section, and I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 8 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. May I put the question? Okay, Honorable Murugara.
Thank you. Throw him out. It's gross disorder. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Honorable Wanami, please be orderly. 12.
Yes. Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Murugara.
Honorable Speaker, the reservation which has actually been brought to us may be valid to some extent, but we should note that it applies to duties that the public officer may actually have in the future. Again, this is for everybody to note, and it's subject to debate, which debate we are doing now. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Honorable members, yes, Honorable Jeanette.
I also want to add my voice to it. Madam Speaker, I don't know how we are legislating for the future. That if someone is going to have a conflict of interest in the future, Madam Speaker, I don't think this clause has any meaning other than making things more difficult. Because if you say, if a member, and in the mediation report, it was removed. Now we are saying in the future, if somebody is going to have a conflict of interest, how will you know whether he's going to have a conflict in the future or not? You are not God. How will you know? Madam Speaker, this one, we disagree, but it is a President memorandum.
Are you calling for a division? Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 8 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 12.
Honorable members, I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 12 be considered. Mover?
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 12 be adopted as proposed by the President in his had a proviso under clause 3, which was introduced in the mediated version, which says that despite subsection 1, no proceeding shall lie against a public officer who grants special consideration or treatment or advantage in good faith. That, again, Honorable Speaker, the President's reservation are to remove that particular clause. And that, Honorable Speaker, is the issue we had raised during debate, that should you extend a favor to somebody on account of maybe age? People are queuing at the airport, there's a very elderly person, and on account of their age, a public officer allows them to jump the queue. That cannot constitute conflict of interest, whether or not they know that person. But in the President's wisdom, he thinks we should not have that, and therefore that has been deleted. I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 12 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. May I put the question? Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 12 be amended as recommended by the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 16.
Honorable members, I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 16 be considered. Mover?
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 16 be amended as proposed by the President in his memorandum of reservations and as it is on the order paper. Again, Honorable Speaker, this relates to clause 3A, that says where a public officer has knowledge that a family member or a relative has accepted a gift or favor under subsection 1, the public officer shall within 48 hours of such knowledge, or if not on duty within 48 hours of resumption of duty, make a declaration of the acceptance, giving sufficient details of the nature of the gift or favor accepted, the donor, and the circumstances under which it was accepted for purposes of assessment of potential conflict of interest. Again, Honorable Speaker, the House, in our wisdom, we had created this proviso because I may not know. For instance, Mzee Ishongwa in Kikuyu now might be receiving a goat from a neighbor. And if I do not go to my father's house today or tomorrow within 48 hours, my father is my relative. I could be construed to be in conflict of interest because my father or a relative received a gift and may be construed to be on my behalf, and I don't report it within 48 hours. But again, as I have said, and many of us, including our judicial officers, Honorable Speaker, work in places away from many of our relatives. Your relatives in the village may receive gifts and probably receive a gift when you're a judge or a magistrate. You must be very careful, especially if you're a judge, that if your grandfather in the village receives a gift from somebody who has a matter before you or a matter in court, it may be construed to be conflict of interest. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, That is what the House had sought to clarify. But again, in the wisdom of EACC and the President, they think we should bring that back. And therefore, you will be now contravening this section, and you will be committing an offense if you do not make that declaration. I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 16 be amended as recommended by the President. Yes, Honorable Junet.
Madam Speaker, it must go on record that we oppose this memorandum. Madam Speaker, considering these two clauses, the last one that just passed and this one, you can see this bill is not a Kenyan bill, honestly, because it's an affront to all African cultures and values, saying that if your relative who is living far away from where you stay receives a bag of bananas from another person as a gift, or a bag of cassava, and you don't declare, then you have a conflict of interest case to answer. If you do a favor to an elderly person in a queue, in good faith, then there's a conflict of interest. Madam Chair, you can see this bill and clauses are alien to our country. Whichever intentions it wants to achieve, let's pray to God that it might not. I can see Owen Bayer in jail, the way he's sitting next to me. I can just see.
I propose the question that clause 16 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 16 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President, reservation to clause 17.
Honorable members, I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 17 be considered. Chair, Leader of Majority, mover?
This is 17. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 17 be amended as it is on the order paper and as authorities maintaining a register of gifts received. We had said gifts received by public officers serving in the reporting entity. Now the President's reservations have added the word any person, that it is gifts received by any person serving in the reporting entity, not just public officers. Even if you are not a public officer and you are serving in the reporting entity, you must declare those gifts. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 17 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I put, yes, Honorable Murugara.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairperson. It's good that we make a comment on this, and exactly that's what it says. A register will be maintained of all persons that receive gifts, including when the judge comes to visit my court, and sometimes they come with their old ladies, their mothers, because sometimes it's nice to carry an old lady to show her the rest of the country, and I gift her with a chicken. If the judge forgets to declare that chicken, he will have committed an offense and he will be liable to prosecution. And it's not just the judge, it's any person, any public officer who fails to make the declaration. But this is a reservation, it's a reservation, and we just have to go by it.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 17 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 18.
I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 18 be considered. Mover?
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 18 be amended as provided for on the order paper and as per the President's reservations. This relates again to gifts, Honorable Speaker, and 18 had said the public officer member of the officer's family or relative of the public officer shall not accept any complimentary treatment for any purpose unless a complimentary treatment offered is required in his official capacity or in exceptional capacities. And 2A was giving provisos on that, Honorable Speaker, and that is what the President has reinstated, and I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 18 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Yes, Honorable Sinkuli.
Sorry, I can't get the mic. Yeah, Madam Speaker, as Honorable Jeanette, the minority leader, has said, actually, in real sense, in spirit and in all else, we actually do not find these reservations to be justified. You know, when this thing talks about relative, the definition of relative is so large. It is not a registrable interest. I don't even know some of the people, I don't even know who my great nephews are. They have enlarged it so much that it's the whole world that you're going to be responsible for. I think myself that there must be a way, and if this House passes it, maybe we have to go to pray that it does not actually become the law of this country.
Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 18 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 20.
I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 20 be considered. Majority Leader, mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the President's reservations, as per the memoranda and as stipulated on the order paper, be approved. Honorable Speaker, again, this relates to acquiring of interest. Members, you remember what we were discussing in debate on whether a public officer shall, or rather, it's stipulated that a public officer shall not acquire an interest in a partnership, private company, or any other legal entity that is a party to a contract with any reporting entity under which the partnership, private company, or legal entity receives a benefit. Again, Honorable Speaker, that related to reporting entities since, as I said, PSC, JSC, ESCC, and we had sought to restrict it to only your reporting entity, but it has been restricted to mean any reporting entity. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I now put the question. Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause 20 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Yes, Honorable Murugara.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Again, another interesting proposal here, in that everybody, public officers, including judges and everybody else, must know that you cannot buy shares in a bank where the JSC is actually banking, because it has a contract of banking, and you cannot buy shares in that one or any other. This is what is being prohibited, and now that it's being reinstated as a presidential reservation, we will pass it, but it's good to note what our reservations were and why the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee rejected those reservations.
Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 20 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 30.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 30 be considered. Majority Leader.
30. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 30 be amended as provided for in the President's reservations, memorandum of reservations, and as it is on the order paper. This is deletion of subsection 2, where we had removed that this subsection shall not apply to a member of parliament or a county assembly. Now it applies, since that is being deleted. I'd like to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 30 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 30 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 31.
I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 31 be considered. Mover?
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 31 be amended as per the President's Memorandum of Reservations and as stipulated on the order paper. Again, Honorable Speaker, this relates to I'm saying it relates to declarations, and there was a 4 that we had deleted, which has been restated that for purposes of this section, material change means at least 25% increase or decrease in the value of an income, asset, or ability, the disposal or acquisition of an asset or ability, changes in marital status, appointment to or changes in directorships, changes in memberships in companies and partnerships and other legal entities, however established, or changes in the membership in social associations, societies, clubs, foundations, or trusts. We had deleted that particular provision in the mediated version, Honorable Speaker, and was there in the original bill, and it has been reinstated. And of course, we had very good reasons of removing that on what we are supposed as public officers, or rather what public officers must submit to the Commission in their declaration of assets and liabilities. But that has now been restated, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move.
Thank you. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 31 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 31 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President reservation to clause 35.
I propose the question that the President's recommendation to clause 35 be considered. Mover?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that clause 35 be amended as provided for in the order paper and as per the President's Memorandum of Reservations. Again, Honorable Speaker, this related to clause 33C, 1C, which we had removed, and it's been reinstated, just stating its completeness and correctness. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 35 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 35 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable mover of this bill.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservations to the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023, up to clause 35 and its approval.
Just read as set out.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker, the clerk had given me the wrong one. Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservations to the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023, and its approval thereof without amendments.
Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservation to the House, reservation to the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023, and its approval thereof without amendments. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. We'll now move to the next one, which is consideration of the President's reservations to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025.
President's reservation to clause 3.
I now propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 3 be considered. Mover?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move, Honorable Speaker, that the President's reservations to clause 3, subsection 2, be amended as provided for on the order paper and as per the President's memorandum of reservations. This, Honorable Speaker, related to the transitional clause relating to the Financial Reporting Center, where we had created a mechanism that would have extended the term of the current Director General by a further 2 years, and the President has expressed his reservations to that in line with the Mwongozo policy, and recommends that the existing office holder appointed under Section 25 will continue to serve in office to complete their tenure under the provisions applicable at the time of the appointment. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 3 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 3 be amended as recommended by the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I was laughing at the Honorable Murugara because he has naturally dropped his amendment by the fact that he could not mobilize 2/3. Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservation to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, and its approval thereof without amendments.
Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservation to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism and Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, and its approval thereof without amendments. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered
Chair, let me invite you again. I was not on record. Chairperson, please proceed.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the President's reservation to the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023, and approved the same without amendments.
Mover of the bill, the Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Dorothy to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Dorothy, please proceed. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I do second the report. Thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable members, I propose the question. which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Let me put the question. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Honorable members, for the convenience of the House, we move to the next bill. Move. Chairperson of the Committee of the Whole or the representative.
It is now. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the President's reservations to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, and approved the same without amendments.
Move out the bill, Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request the Honorable Phyllis Bartow, Professor, to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Thank you very much, Majority Leader. Honorable members, I propose the question. May I please have a seconder?
Madam Speaker, I second.
Thank you very much, Professor. Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Honorable members, for the convenience of the House, I defer putting of the question. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Majority Leader, I see you are on your feet.
I don't think there are questions, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, after dropping some of the questions, what we have is responses to statements. So, Majority Leader, you may proceed with your.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the House Business Committee, and pursuant to the provisions of Standing Orders 44.2a, I rise to give the following statement on prioritization of business for consideration during the week. Honorable Speaker, I wish to officially welcome back members from the short recess. I hope we have all come back invigorated in readiness to perform our roles in what promises to be a very busy part of the fourth session. I further urge committees with priority business pending before them to expedite consideration and submission of reports to the House so as to enable the conclusion by the House within the set timeline.